Hey everyone, so we are going to, or this video is going to walk through the 3 in-class practice problems for you to watch on your own to help you for your homework check tomorrow. So starting with our first equation, I'm going to look at each equation and see kind of which one would be the easiest to solve for one variable. And as I'm looking, I see that this equation, we're going to call this equation number 2, is probably the easiest. And the reason that is because if I have, let me get a little bit of a thicker pen here, negative 4y is equal to negative 4. This is really easy to solve for y because what I can do is divide both sides by negative 4. And so y is equal to positive 1. So now I have my first solution, y is equal to positive 1. So next I want to look and see, is there a place that I can substitute y so that I have an equation with one variable? And this looks like equation number 3. Because equation number 3, if I substitute y with 1, that leaves just z in my equation. So I'm going to do that. Negative 2 times 1 plus 5z is equal to 27. And so the 1 that we substituted is right there. So now I'm going to solve. So this gets me negative 2 plus 5z is equal to 27. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And I have 5z is equal to 29. And so now I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And we get z is equal to 29 over 5. So there is my second solution. Highlight all that. Here's solution number 2. Now my third solution, notice that I'm now working with my last equation. And I'm going to take all of the values that I have so far, and we have y and z. We're going to use that last equation to solve for x. So plugging everything in, I have 2x plus 3 times 1 plus 29 over 5 is equal to 8. So we're going to solve 2x, and I'm going to use my calculator to do 3 plus 29 over 5. And as a fraction, this gets me 44 over 5. And if we turn that into a decimal, that is 8.8. So 2x plus 8.8 is equal to 8. I'm going to subtract 8.8 from both sides. 2x is equal to 8 minus 8.8, which is negative 0.8. I'm going to divide by 2. And x is equal to negative 0.4. So those are my 3 solutions. X is equal to negative 0.4. Y is equal to 1. And z is equal to 29 over 5, or, as a decimal, 5.8. And those are my three solutions. All right, let's move on to our next one. So again, I'm looking for the equation that has the least number of variables in it. And it looks like this first equation, negative 2z, that only has z in it, so I'm going to use that one to solve first. So negative 2z minus 3 is equal to negative 9. So I'm going to solve by adding 3 to both sides. Which leaves me with negative 2z is equal to negative 6. We're going to divide both sides by negative 2. And we get z is equal to 3. So there is our first solution. Z is equal to 3. Now I'm going to look for an equation that would be easiest to substitute z into. And it looks like this second equation is probably best, because if I substitute 3 in for z, then I'll just be left with negative 6y. So 3 minus 6y is equal to 21. So here is the 3 that we substituted in. That's the 3 that's going in there. So 3 minus 6y. So if I want to solve for solve for y, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. And I have negative 6y is equal to 18. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 6. And y is equal to negative 3. There is our second solution. And finally, move on to our next equation. So we have z and y, so this is going to solve for everything, it looks like. I think actually this should be a typo. This should be, let's do 4x here. So we'll try and change that to 4x. So 4x minus negative 3 plus 2 times 3 equals 1. So 4x plus 3, because I have 2 negatives, plus 6 equals 1. So combining like terms, so I have like terms here. 4x plus 9 equals 1. We're going to subtract 9 from both sides. (4x) is equal to negative 8. We're going to divide both sides by 4. And x is equal to negative 2. So there are my 3 solutions. My solutions are x is equal to negative 2, y is equal to negative 3, and z is equal to positive 3. All right. And now our last one. So our last one is a little different in that none of my formulas have just one variable in them. But I'm going to look at this first equation, or sorry, this second equation. Y is equal to x minus 2. And what that means is that I can replace y in any equation with x minus 2. So I'm going to do that with the first equation. I'm going to take 4x minus 2, and I'm going to replace y with x minus 2. And that's going to be equal to 8. So here's the x minus 2 that I'm replacing. So now I got to do a little bit of algebra here. 4x, 4x. My negative 2 needs to get distributed to both terms. So minus 2x plus 4 is equal to 8. I'm going to combine like terms, so 2x plus 4 equals 8. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. So 2x is equal to 4, and divide both sides by 2 to get x equals 2. So there is my first formula. There is my first solution, x equals 2. So now what I can do is actually plug that x equals 2 back into that formula, y equals x minus 2. So if y equals x minus 2, and we just said x is equal to 2, here's the 2 that we're replacing, and that means y is equal to 0. Let me change that. Y is equal to 0. So now I have my second solution, and I'm going to use both of those in my last equation to solve for z. So negative 7x, oops, sorry, let me replace x with our new solution. So 7 times 2 plus 32 times 0 minus 10 times z is equal to negative 14. So to recap, the 0, that is our value for y, and the 2 was our value for x. So now we're going to combine like terms. So I have set negative 7 times 2 is negative 14 plus 0 minus 10z is equal to negative 14. So that 0, that's not there. I'm going to add 14 to both sides. And that means I am left with negative 10z is equal to 0. So negative 10 times something equals 0. The only thing z can be is 0. So those are our 3 solutions. X equals 2, y equals 0, z equals 0. Alright, so that's our in-class practice there.